Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is exciting both for y'all and also for myself because I'm going to be learning a new skill that I've never had before, and that is the skill of how to checkmate with a knight and bishop against a king. So the knight bishop mate is notoriously one of the most difficult checkmates, perhaps the most difficult checkmate in endgame. In the chess endgame, and it's when you have to use the bishop and knight and king to box the opponent king, excuse me, into the corner of the board and then deliver the checkmate. So let's see if we can learn it, and maybe y'all can pick it up along the way. I will drop the link to the challenges that I'm doing in the description so that you can also follow along and play along as well. All right, so let's go here. And start the challenges here. Oh, looks like, 1 second, sorry. Looks like my headphones have disconnected, so just give me a second to connect those, and then we'll be, yeah, that should be good. All right. Sorry for the sound, it probably did a little bit of a feedback there, but that should not be the case anymore. Here, so we've got the bishop and the king boxing the king here, so really, the black king only has 2 squares, so here we can probably just give a check, and after the king goes, the bishop can give a check over here, and that should be checkmate. So in these endgames, generally, you want to put the king in the corner where the bishop is also going to be able to attack the king. So if the king was in that corner, then we would have to use a technique known as the W technique to bring the king over to this corner before we deliver the checkmate. So, in this case, it seems like the king is once again in the box, so we need to get to the knight to a place where it can put it can hold the b8 square. So maybe the knight needs to get over here. So we could play a move like this to get over there. But in this position, if we play knight to a7, wait, what? No, knight b5 doesn't do it because we need to get to we need to go to a6. So whatever. I guess. Oh, this is a stalemate. Oh, I made the same mistake again. Wait, I guess I can't go there because I can't take away that square over there. So I have to go to now I have to go here. Okay. No, not there. I need to go there. This is just mate. This is just mate in 2 here. The next one is the one where I need to pay attention. Because I need to hold this square, but if I play it now, then it's going to be a stalemate. So I move. Wait, this isn't right. Okay, wait, let's do it this way then. And then now we can play bishop here and mate. This is a very classic mate. All right, so now this is where it gets interesting because the king is on the wrong color square with the bishop. So let's explore how to use the W technique to mate with the knight and bishop. So in this position, we need to force the king either to the A8 side or to the other side here. And seeing as the B1 square is already taken up, let's try to force the king to the A8 square over here. And so the first way we need to do that is by getting the knight to B3. When we put the knight on B3, we can then check the king and force the king to go to A2 and then to A3 and so on. So the first move we can play here is the move knight to D2, and after king A2, we can play knight to B3 here and then forcing the king to go to B3. All right, so let's go knight to D2 here and put the knight on B3. Now, after the king goes to A3, we would like to continue forcing the king to go this way, so we have to take away the A2 square. So let's play the move bishop to B1, taking away the A2 square here. And now we are finally in the position where we can start using the W technique. So the W technique is just a pattern that the knight follows in order to force the king to the other side of the board. So in this position, the knight from B3 is going to jump. Well, let's say it started on D2, right? So the knight from D2 jumps to B3, it goes to B3, it goes to D4, then it goes to B5, then it goes to D6, and then it goes to B7. So if you look at this, well, let's just make this simple like this. If you look at this, this looks like a little bit of a W, if you look at it sideways. Sorry, the last one isn't quite accurate. So if you look at this, it looks like a little bit of a W, so that's why it's called a W. And in this position, after knight to d4, the king cannot run out on b5, but has to go to a5. So after knight to d4, I guess the king goes back to a3 here. And now we have to continue the W technique here. Remember, the knight went to d4. Now it goes to b5, gives another check. The king cannot go to a2, and the king is boxed off on this side because of our king. So it goes back to a4, and now we continue moving the king up to defend the knight. Okay, so now can we allow the king to run out to b6? No, we have to block the king. And then, okay, the king continues to go up. If it goes back to a4, we can always give the bishop c2 check, and that forces the king back because the knight covers this and the king covers this. The bishop would cover this, and these three squares would be covered. So the king would have to go back. Now, the king goes to a6, and now is a moment for us to consider what is the best move. We could continue with our W technique, but then the king might come back, which is totally fine. We would have to play bishop c4, I think. And then after the king goes back, we'd play a waiting move. Sorry, I'm still learning this myself. We'd have to play a waiting move like bishop to d1. And then after the king goes back, knight there, check, etc. I believe. It's hard because every time the board is oriented differently, you have to calculate it all anew. I think bishop c2 doesn't work here because you have to keep the king from getting out on b7, so it's got to be knight here, I think. Knight here sounds like a good move. Now we can't allow the king to get back to a4, so let's play bishop to c2 here. And then after the king goes back, let's now, I think even bishop here is fine, but let's go bishop to d1. And now we can play the move knight to b7 check, completing our W shape here with the knight on b7. And after the king goes to c6, now we've finally completed the idea over here. We can now play king to c7 as well. And when the king comes back to a6, we can play bishop to e2, checking the king. And again, all of these squares are taken up. So the king goes back to b7. And now we're finally in the bind. We just need to move the knight and then deliver checkmate. Let's see. Where is the exact mate here? We need to put the knight on this square, right? Yeah, or like here. No. It's got to hold this square, so let's maybe go for... I need to think a little bit more clearly here because, so basically what we need to do is when we move the knight, let's say we move it to c5 here, the king is forced to go there, and then we just need to hold this square. So we need to bring the knight somehow so that it can attack that square. So let's say we go here, the king goes there, and then we go knight to b5, the king goes back, and then bishop there is going to be mate. So let's go for that here. So the king goes there. Now we can't go bishop knight here directly because then it's going to be a stalemate. So we have to give this a check. Sorry, we do oh, got it. So we play bishop c4 here, and then after knight to c8 check, we finally give mate over here. So that's the use of the W technique. Let's do it 2 more times here. These are a little bit different, but we should just bring the king forward and start cornering the king over here. The king is going to try to run to the wrong corner, color square, here on a1 because our bishop is a light square bishop. But we can deal with that. Let's play bishop to e3 and bring the king over. Yeah, let's give a check here and just continue bringing the king. Yep. Let's go knight to d. Yeah, we're just bringing the king here and put the, okay, so now we finally got the same situation where the b1 square is covered and we're pushing the king to a8 here. And remember, we need to get our knight to b3 here. So it's very simple. We just need to find a way to get the knight to b3. What's a good route to do that? We could go here, 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 here. That's too many moves, though. What's the faster way to do it? I'm really blind with the knight right now, apparently. Okay, fine. Let's just do that. What was that? What did I do? I forgot what I did. Okay, let's go here. We defend on a3, and then we go knight a5, and now we put the knight on b3. The king goes to a3. Now we go to bishop b1, and now we can continue to repeat the idea of w with the knight, moving the king forward. And if the king goes up and out, which we didn't see last time, the king goes up and out, and it looks like the king is getting away, we still go forward with the king, and here we actually continue with the W technique, and the king is going to try to escape to the corner, but here we play bishop to f5 here, and we cut off the king's escape. And now after a waiting move, the king is actually walled in, and after bishop to d5 is forced to come back this way. Now, we can move the king. Sorry, what is... Yeah, we can just move the king now and force the king to go back. And if king to a4, now we can't play bishop to b3 now, obviously, but we're going to do a waiting move here, again with bishop to e6, forcing the king to go back. And now after bishop to b3, the king has to go up. We can continue the W formation. The king goes here. Now we give a check on b7. The king goes forward to defend. And here we can just push the king. Okay, the king goes there. That's totally fine. Here, what's a good move? We can obviously play bishop c4. We can also move the knight. Here, let's just play knight d6 here. And after bishop c4, we can play a waiting move like bishop to d3. And here we will get the same checkmate with the bishop. Very nice. Let's do it one last time here with maybe king f3 and king e4 here. Let's go king d4. Remember, this is again the wrong color. We have a dark square now, so our opponent's going to try to run us there. So we can just try to oblige and make it easy for them to do that. So here we can go king d5, bring the knight maybe. Or actually, let's just bring the king all the way here. And now we can get the knight to the c7 square, which is the equivalent of the b3 square, because we've rotated the board by 90 degrees here. The bishop is holding on a7, so now we can put the knight on c7, take away the a8 square, and now play bishop to a7. The king goes out, and we can start our W technique here with the knight. So, now we can move the king. Wait, is that the move? Yeah, moving the king. The king goes out, the knight goes in. The king goes out, let's move the bishop to stop the king from escaping. Let's play a waiting move. And now this should be quite fast here. We should just be able to eventually pre-move this, but I'm still working on it. I need to remember the move order here. So we just go back with the king. And there's simply nothing to be done in terms of the king getting out. I was almost contemplating letting the king get out, but that wasn't a good idea. Okay, so now the king is locked away. So once again, we can play this knight a5 idea. We can wait a move with the bishop, and then after the knight jumps in. Oh, sorry, that's not. Oh, that is right. But now the knight's in the way. So why did I do it like this? Where should the knight actually be? It should be there. So I've done it. No, wait. I've confused myself. Oh, the knight should be on a6. Sorry, I went the wrong way. So then now we can give checkmate finally. So now we did this in 11 minutes and 9 seconds here. This is pretty nice. We've gotten a little faster since I did it this morning when I first tried to film the video, but something interrupted the video, unfortunately. So I hope that was instructive for y'all. It was certainly helpful for me to try to learn this technique because I never knew it before. So now I'm confident that I can actually win over the board or online. I can win with about a couple of minutes on the clock. I can probably checkmate with the bishop and knight. So that's very good. I hope you all have a similar experience, and do check out the link in the bottom to play along and figure out how to checkmate. The important thing is the king supports the knight, and then the bishop forces the king around by taking away the important squares. So, if you remember the W technique, I think you'll be fine. Thank you so much for checking in for today's video, and I hope you have a great one.